This is episode 2 of the Equity East Midlands podcast. This is the second of 16 episodes. In this episode, we're going to talk about casting your vote and our industry's regional democracy. Join us reflecting on the importance of voting through our lens of lived experience. And on today's podcast, we have Kim Gillespie.
Hi.
Mel Parker.
Oh.
Ken Osborne, and of course myself,
Hi.
Karen Lyon. It's committee election time here in the East Midlands. We've just had we've had the national elections of committee, which lasts for 2 years, and we're about to come up on the regional committee elections for the 2025 to 2027 committees. So who's going to take the reins today to talk about what's going to happen in the next few weeks, how people can stand, where we might put our links, and what happens next?
Right. Well, as you said, Karen, I'm sorry I've jumped in here. I've made that executive decision as chair to start. As Karen said, this is part of a cycle of elections. This is the branch committee elections, and it's for a 2-year committee. We've already sat for 2 years. Mel and Karen have been on this committee. What we're keen to do really is encourage as many people as possible to stand for committee, and the nomination date closure is the September the 1st, so there's plenty of time to get your form in. We need a good, strong, vibrant committee. I mean, I think as the panel will testify, branch committees can be very exciting. Branches themselves can be very exciting and dynamic. We get a lot of speakers along. We have a kind of monthly digest of information from the union, and it's up to the committee really to kind of channel all that. And what we need to do as a committee is decide on those speakers and really push the branch forward. There are. I mean, Mel can explain and Ken can explain about what they actually do on the committee and how onerous it is, or not onerous, depending on how they felt about when they first approached the committee, and now that they're on it.
Yeah, I can add to that. I think actually Ken and I have only been on a year. We got co-opted on last year, so I've been coming along I had been coming along to the meetings regularly, and I think there've been various changes, or have you, or gaps, or you simply recognise that there's something that you have that you can offer to the group, and I think that's the message that I would give, is that voting and putting in forms and elections of committees sounds all very formal, doesn't it? And I always thought that there were specific roles that you had to play, and indeed there are. Like Kim is the chair, and we have a treasurer and secretary and a variety officer and so on and so forth. But when Ken and I came on board, we were simply asked to come on board the committee and contribute what we could, when we could. Really, that's fair to say, isn't it, Ken? We weren't designated a specific role, and we were more comfortable with that as newbies coming on board, to give back a little bit, get more involved, and that's exactly what I've done, is to just try and get more involved and offer more of my time, whatever that is, that time is, whether it's to take notes every now and then or to help organise things. We've had various subcommittees to organise events, and I've really enjoyed that. And as a committee member, not only does it give you immediate access, doesn't it, to all of the information that's available to us, taking part has meant that we've been able to hear and see speakers that everybody can do as members anyway. But as committee members, we're more involved in who that might be, and so on and so forth. So I've really enjoyed being more involved in this last year. How about you, Ken?
Yeah, very much so. Equity as a union has committees for all sorts of different things. There are committees for particular areas of the arts. There's a circus skills kind of group, and then there's other variety and all sorts. I'd urge anyone listening to just dig a little bit. Your curiosity is your biggest asset. So dig into the different committees that Equity convenes. And on each committee, it needs to be just made up of people who in some way give a shit, to be blunt with my language. You can run your own business as a performer. Let's say you're a juggler and fire breather. You can run your own business like that. But at the same time, if at any point, if you feel that other jugglers and fire breathers might need a bit of help, then you can help by casting a vote. You can help by attending a meeting. You can help by listening to somebody else's problems, or you can help by just feeding into a debate if you feel you have a strong opinion about something. But every piece of interaction you do with the union, coming along to a meeting and casting a vote, sticking your hand up, saying a little piece that you want to speak about, that's helping your fellow actors and helping your fellow performers. And it just builds our industry and makes us all stronger. Contribute if you can.
It's been a really important foundation for me for my career. I mean, I was working as a stage manager on industrial contracts until about sort of 2005, 2006, when I kind of grew out of the traditional stage management roles and went freelance. And Equity's always been that foundation. And I think understanding that structure where the regions fit in, that a lot of, you've got council, as I say, we've just had the big election of council, and that's elected by everybody. And you've got the specialists. And then there's the industrial committees, which have this year been elected. So you had 2-year cycle in Equity. There's council and then committee, then it goes back to council and it's committee. And then somewhere within there, you have the general secretary's election. But the regional committees are at the same year as the big Equity committee are elected. But it's the one place that gives members a true voice. I think it's why I've always been really passionate about the regions maintaining a branch structure. I think the Musicians Union got rid of their branch structure a few years ago, but Equity has maintained one, and it just means that you can go to the Curve, which is where the East Midlands meet at the moment, or you can contact through email your regional organiser. And make sure that if you've got something to say, you can say it regionally. I mean, if it hadn't been for the regional committee and the regional branch, I wouldn't have met you, Mel. I wouldn't have met you, Ken. Mel is a voice artist, Ken actor. Kim had been introduced to me by the union because we were both looking for a regional presence, but the online branch looked after us for a good few years. And now we've got this, and we're able to start having this conversation to, fingers crossed, invite more East Midlands people through the power of algorithm to see this and to put their names forward. But I think, how many? 9 people on the committee, isn't it, Kim?
It's 9. Well, I mean, it'd be really good to have an election. So it'd be really good if more than 9 people put in their nomination forms. But we can have up to 9 people on the committee. I mean, generally speaking, we can also co-opt people as well. But it would be good to have that kind of active husting kind of approach to. So as many people as possible, if they want to put their nomination form in for the branch committee, that would be great.
It's a big area, isn't it, the East Midlands?
Yeah.
We've got Leicester became the hub, I think, because at the beginning, everyone put their postcodes in so that we knew where people were coming from. And there was definitely a key interest of attendance from the LE postcode. We've got Leicester, Nottingham, Derby, Northampton, Lincolnshire. So it's a big area. So if you're a member that's out in Lincolnshire and you want to join, it'd be great to have a Lincolnshire voice.
That's what I was just about to say, Karen. Is as much as it's great to have a diverse set of professions on board and so on and so forth, but actually we're quite, from us that are more actively involved, we are quite in terms of physically where we live, Leicester focused, aren't we? And it would be great to have a wider representation, really, in terms of the area that we cover.
Hanging on at the end here in Nottingham.
Yes.
Yeah, but yeah, it's the democracy is really, really important, and mandate is important, and the conversation that you can continue to have about the life of the arts within our industry professionally going on, and having that contact with the regional organiser. I mean, we've got the East and the West Midlands. You know, the West Midlands have Birmingham, and there's the region around it. I think the East Midlands is more of an anomaly, I think, than a lot of the rest of the UK, because we have those cities, and they're quite spread out. Devon and Cornwall, I'm sure, would argue differently. So would Scotland and Wales, and we're all out in the regions and the nations.
And it's true to say, can I just mention that we punch above our weight as well as as a relatively, even as a small branch, because we have speakers come in. I mean, we had Linda Rook, who's the union president, come and speak to us, which was fantastic, really. And she was great, the way she kind of talked to us. It was a small meeting, but she still gave us her time and everything else, and kind of in real life. So as a branch committee, we can have a hand in organising that kind of thing and making sure that we keep our kind of finger on the pulse.
Yeah.
So the closing date for elections is the 1st of September.
Yeah.
We will put a link to the nomination form in the link of the video and the podcast. The next meeting takes place on the 10th of September, and you meet every second Wednesday of the month.
Yes,
correct?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And it's being held at Curve.
At Curve in Leicester.
Yeah.
And this has been episode 2. Thank you very much if you are listening for the second time. If you've just found us, you're listening on the audios, do subscribe to wherever you get your podcasts. If you are watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. And join us for episode 3. So thank you, Kim.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Mel. And thank you, Ken.